In this video, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about writing cold email copy and how I booked 7 calls in 10 days so that by the end of the video, you can do the same for yourself and book consistent appointments. If you don't know who I am, my name is Liam, and I've booked 100 plus calls across various B2B industries, and I'm here to teach you how to do the same. We're going to cover what makes a good cold email, the psychology behind it, and why your cold emails are getting ignored. If you're here for dopamine hits and don't have the attention span to learn this properly, click off now. Let's get right into the video. This document will be in the comments below. I'm just going to have it like open season. You can have a look at it, go through it, review it, whatever you need. So the cold email. Cold email is like no other type of copywriting. And if you're watching this, you already know that. You have 2 to 4 seconds to intrigue your prospects with words. No images, videos, or sounds. And this is where most people fall off the bandwagon. It's not easy. It really isn't. It's one of those things where you realize after a certain amount of time now, when you run ads, you get images, you get videos. There's like there's a different feel to it where there's a different skill set necessary. And I'm not saying ads is easy because every channel of client acquisition is difficult, but this is straight words, and you cannot do any more than that. If you do videos, images, there's certain like criteria that you probably shouldn't do. So straight words and trying to entice someone to book a call with you is not easy. So the idea behind that is to give you insight into what works in like 2024 going into 2025, because the industry is always changing. Again, these are fundamentals, but I'm going to show you what like kind of works now and to break down how to write a high performing cold email. Perfect. So the goal of a cold email is to push for a call. You have no other thought in your head. You are to push for a call. Call, right? You aren't to do open rate tracking. You aren't supposed to do link tracking. You aren't supposed to, like, reply rate is nice to track stuff, but it doesn't actually mean anything. End result is the 2 metrics you should be tracking is email sent, call book rate. Email sent, call book rate. It's like something like CAC to LTV or something. If anybody's heard that one, it's like your customer acquisition cost to your lifetime value of customer. Well, this is the same equivalent to that in cold email, right? That's all you're looking for. Email sent, meetings booked. So let's break down why someone would get on a call with you. They think you can make them more money, save them money, or save them more time than they are going to give you. That's fundamentally all it is, right? That genuinely all it boils down to. You are going to make me more money. I'm going to give you my money. Who's happy? Everybody, because I've given you money, you've given me more money. The most important sentence in that word is think, or most important word in that sentence, it's very difficult to say, is think. The main reason why cold email is so difficult now is because of this. They don't think you can help. Full stop. Right? Here's 2 examples. Person 1 is 2024. They receive 10 emails a day, which I get told so often. I receive tons of emails like this, like even from my clients, and they're like, yeah, they're like, I just received so many emails like this. 10 emails a day stating the same exact thing. We can generate you 10 meetings a day with Facebook ads on a performance basis, or you don't pay. That's like standard. That is literally standard in like today's day and age. They look at their site, no case studies or testimonials. They've worked with 2 other agencies before that took their money and screwed them. That's basically what it looks like nowadays. Agencies are genuinely screwing people, and it's just becoming a low trust economy. That's just all it is. Person 2, 2019. This is pre-COVID. Touch wood that doesn't happen again. Business is good, economy is booming. You're currently replying to a client email. Oh, an email from an unknown recipient. Opens it. We can generate you 10 meetings a day with Facebook ads on a performance basis, or you don't pay. First email today pitching this. Now, this is interesting. They're asking for a call. Sure, I could use this. I've heard good things about Facebook ads, right? Fundamentally, 5 years ago, they got screwed less, basically, is the plain and blunt way of putting it. They weren't hit as much by emails. They weren't burned as much. The industry has shifted drastically in the last 5 years, just in general. Also, there's this guy called Mr. Daniel Fazione. He created a course and he made a lot of money from it. And it basically taught a lot of people how to send emails. And I think he basically single-handedly made the cold email industry. I've bought his stuff, so it's just one of those things. Yeah, so do you understand the difference? There were so many factors that aligned to make this happen. But at a base, they thought you could help them get the end result, right? Person 1 did not think so because they think you are the same as everybody else, and everybody else cannot get them results. As soon as you differentiate, then you break the pattern, right? So we'll be going through how to replicate this consistently with all our emails going into 2025. Awesome. For some reason, that takes forever to load. Nobody asked. Okay, yeah, so they don't care. Oops. Like at all. Like you must realize they do not care, right? Nobody asked to be cold email, right? This is just you need to understand. They never asked to be cold email. Not a single person in history has said, please cold email me. You need to understand this. Who doesn't care? Right? Repeat it with me. Business owners don't care, right? They don't care. I'm just gonna keep saying this because you cannot send emails, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, so I can do like I can do this for you, and it's like I've done this for this. I, right? They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Right? This took me so long to realize. I wrote a lot of emails. I spent a lot of time. There's a lot of videos on my channel of me writing emails, and at a very early stage, you have to realize that they just could not care more about you. They just don't care. So if the whole goal of an email is to get them to book a call, and you basically need them to care before you can book a call, right? They need to care. And I'm going to go into basically how you can do this. So you need to solve a problem, right? Whoa. The base of a business is problem solving. To build on the last point, you need them to care, right? Again, you need them to care. And if you solve a big enough problem, you'll get their attention. I guarantee it. This is the classic example of trying to sell ice to Eskimos or selling water to someone in the desert, right? Some people need it more than others. So it is kind of a timing thing as well. It's not rocket science, it's common sense, but I've realized that common sense isn't very common, right? Some people just they blow my mind. But yeah, so anything they are anything but there's anything but common sense somewhere sometimes. This is what top cold emailers mean when they say target one person, you target one problem. I will go on a little, not like a tangent, but basically like okay, so have a target list, etc. Like a little thought, right? Is I had a campaign recently where I had 12 campaign setup. So this was one person, right? It's just 12 campaigns, very simply. And all it was it was splitting different industries with also different positions within companies inside that industry. And then again, if I wanted to chunk up, I could go via company headcount, right? Because people have different problems. The person, the owner of a company that has 5 to 20 employees has a very different problem to a person that is doing 100 to 200 employees, and then 1,000 to 2,000, and then 10,000 to 20,000. There's very different thought processes going through each of their heads because they just they don't like if you email someone doing like with 1,000 employees saying I can do Facebook ads, I don't think they care. So you just need to realize that some people aren't fit for your solution and target the people who are, right? So length and time. This is also really, really important. I really have distilled everything. This is very simple for you to understand where it's length and time. Us measly mammals, right? We are mammals, have reduced our attention spans 2 seconds. The world of dopamine and short form content has done a lot of damage, right? Some people cannot focus for shit. Like it is just, it's not possible. It's just impossible. It's just not wired in. They just cannot. As some wise man said long ago, if you can't beat them, join them. Not sure who said that, but I appreciate you. The best mindset for this is the person has to understand the email in 2 to 4 seconds. So if said person is not able to read your email and gloss over it, then okay. I also remember I received an email a long time ago. Not a long time ago, it was probably like 2 weeks ago. I don't know why I said a long time ago. But it was basically about 2 weeks ago. And it was a big chunk of text. It was like 5 sentences and where's my phone? So it was like all right, let's see if I can do this. And it was just a big chunk of text. I don't know how to describe it. It was just straight text. And I literally couldn't even like scan it. It was so difficult. Like I actually had to like physically read the email. I like reading cold emails just because obviously I do this, so it's funny to watch. But yeah, so it was just a chunk of text like 5 sentences, and I wasn't able to scan it. So like just make your email scannable, right? So this is SL subject line is the bit before the main email. It looks a bit like this. So as you can see, this is some instantly stuff, some Fiverr stuff, Fathom, AimFox, blah blah blah. But as you can see, you see this like thing before the dash here, right? I have it highlighted in red, and I should have picked a different color, but I blurred out all the important information as well. And basically, it's that little bit before where they see like what is kind of pre-done on it. And this is really important because when you're doing this, you need it to be as enticing as possible. Like you can kind of see what I opened, like recap of your meeting. Like I didn't open it. Um, Inbox replacements, like that's obviously really important. Can I increase my open rate, my rate limits? Like some of this is important, and you need to make it. The best way of doing a subject line inside an email is to have it internally. And one of the best points I got from this is I I saw this, I read this on LinkedIn, but someone basically said, I have never received an email from a colleague with my first name in the subject line. I was like, I thought about it. I thought about it and I was like, this is mind blowing because it makes so much sense. You probably have never received an email with your name in the subject line. And it doesn't make sense because why would someone emailing you say that? Like I have never received it. I have never physically, like when I'm doing email communications with people, there's no my name is not in the subject line. So that's just my thought on that, and I guess it makes sense when you do something like that. So yeah, you can see the longer the subject line, the shorter the preview is. This can be both good and bad. It definitely depends on what you're kind of looking to do. So like here, you can see this is like way longer, and this is shorter. So it depends on what you want to show. If you write a strong opening line that pushes curiosity, then go for it. Example: saw some of your products were selling at company name, or basically versus I hope you have I hope you're having a good day. So this basically is if you open like in this preview section, oh shoot, in this preview section, right? If you see, I hope you're having a good day, right? It's like, okay, I'm probably going to get pitched, right? It's probably a sales email. If you saw some of your products, you were selling at company name, right? If you see, I saw some of your products, I'm opening that email. I'm literally like, I see that, click, you have my attention. So yeah, so now onto some actual subject lines. We've all heard the dreaded quick question. If you haven't, stop using it. Just stop using it. I think I wrote an X thread basically saying that quick question will come back from the grave at some point. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely curious to see if it will. It's genuinely been like used and abused like beyond belief. Quick question. It, it blows my mind how often I used it back in the day. But now I'm using like different subject lines. So I don't use it anymore. Quick question is the victim of pattern recognition. So pretty simply, it's like people see quick question, people think cold email. Like I correlate quick question with cold email now. That's just what it feels like. So pattern recognition is a data analysis method that uses machine learning algorithms to automatically recognize patterns and regularities in data. In human terms, we assign meaning to something we see over and over again. It's a basic principle of human nature. Quick question screams cold email. What you need to understand is most people send shit cold emails. A lot of people send shit cold emails. You do everything right, but you're the one person in an ocean, right? So you'll need to be different. A common SLs I use now is maybe a product they sell, company name, your name, benefit slash outcome, comment company name, thoughts company name. There's a few other ones I run, which is like relevant. Like now today is the 22nd of December, and we're going into where are we going into? We're going into 2025. Damn, I I don't know the dates. And basically, I like the subject line I'm using is 2025 question mark. And he's like, okay, and maybe that could be internal or something for 2025 or something for the new year, etc. And then when we hit the new year, I'm going to be using something like um, as Q1 question mark or how's the new year question mark, something like that. So yeah, um, throat is dry. Give me a second. Wow, that's some good water. Right, E. So relevance is the next extremely, extremely important thing. Like you need to wrap your head around this. This is like when people say like this is important, like this is also extremely important, right? Relevance is one of those like things that's difficult to understand, but insanely, insanely powerful. This is the basis for writing copy that speaks to your prospects. For example, we help marketing agencies generate 12 appointments per month. We help Facebook ad agencies based in Denver book 12 appointments per month with sustainable e-com stores doing more than 100K per month. Right? Imagine I am a Facebook ads agency located in Denver, targeting sustainable e-com stores, doing more than 100K per month. Like this is literally soul gazing type of soul gazing type of copy. You need more relevant points towards the person. Some examples is ICP, so ideal client profile, location, USP, services, relevant case studies. The list goes on, right? It literally will never stop. It will genuinely never stop. Um, there's only three real ways of doing this, which is manually write out every email, which is obviously not happening unless you want to do that. That's hats off. My hats off to you, Chief. I am not doing that. Hyper segment leads list, which is less of a pain, and then using AI, which takes brains. And the genius in this will run a hyper segment leads list with AI, and then now you're running some insane shenanigans. So yeah, be extremely relevant. You need to understand this because I'm just going to dig into this a bit more because this is one of the things I'm starting to hone into on for 2025. I've been kind of shifting my thesis of cold email, which is instead of like making people want to buy, is finding people that want to buy, and relevance kind of works into that. So a campaign I'm running now, or like recently anyways, is targeting people that are already running Facebook ads, right? They need to have Facebook ads, and I'm basically running Apify to scrape their Meta Ads library to see if they're running ads or not. And then I have two very different campaigns um, based on what type of ads they're running, and also if they are or aren't running ads. So very simply, it looks kind of like that. And it was incredible. I remember running a campaign, right? So I wanted to test it. And I basically whipped up a campaign that was no, they basically, I didn't check if they had Facebook ads or not. And then I just ran the campaign, same copy, based like normal, right? And I had like a 2-3% response rate. But what, right? Listen, I went up, right, and I scraped only ads. This was finance sector ads. There was very few, right? I'm gonna say there was very few after like 500 employees, and it was like 10% response rate because the product we were selling was it was only relevant to people towards ads. So if they weren't running ads, then like what is actually the point? There is zero point in contacting them. So that's relevant. So that's basically list segmentation in that sense. So that's like my little side story. So yeah, it's time to teach you the ways of the pattern interrupt, right? This is a vital part of copywriting in general. 20% of the energy we consume goes to the brain, yet it only makes up 2% of our body weight, which technically is very asymmetric in terms of that. So it must be very important. When someone uses this much energy, it will always look for ways to categorize, segment, remove bullshit, and it's like putting your phone on power saving mode. Right? Imagine your phone. Like, where's my phone? This thing is like incredible. Well, like if it was like if it died in like half an hour, I would always have it on power saving mode, and that's basically us. I'm basically a phone, right? And I have access to the internet. Whoa, no. So this is so look. Have a look at these emails, right? So um, scaling them faster. Facebook ads are a powerful way to generate. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm breezing this. I see 23%. So look, just follow me for a second, right? I see quick question, and then I also see. Okay, I just said hi, Tony. Just like obviously notice your business MTOS. I see like when I look at this, I look at numbers first. So it's 23% conversions. I see Facebook ads. I see 90 days. I see Facebook ads again, so I know what I'm getting sold. And then 23% 90 days. I literally don't care about this or this or this. Like I've breezed this. And then next one is more leads, more sales, Facebook ads that work. I don't know, are you looking to drive more specialized in businesses? I'm bored. I don't care. There's no numbers in this, so I don't know what I'm looking at. I just, I'm sorry, but no. You know what I mean? Like, just no. Best regards to him, right? Scale your business with Facebook ads that convert. I look at 3x. Like when I look at this, I look at 3x ROI, like a 23% incursions, 20%. This is Facebook ads again. Okay, I probably should have a business name there instead of a business name. And the next one is it's like lower cost per acquisition. Targeted ad campaigns. Like I'm not reading any of this. I'm just not. And then look, watch, boom. Okay, right, right. Pattern interrupt. That's what this is. That's what this is. SL MTOS, which is company name, openly generating 15 extra appointments per month with our ad flow system. I'm just saying that's a pattern interrupt. You know what you're getting sold because there's ad in it. Generates a little bit of curiosity because there's a special name. Okay, it's ad flow system. bit of curiosity, pattern interrupt, 15 extra appointments. Like responses like, are you open to it? Yeah, maybe. So as you can see, it was subtle, but you probably skimmed over emails 1 to 4. Oh yeah, okay. I don't know why it's still scrolling. But yeah, so you definitely skimmed over emails 1 to 4 because I did. And this is the idea behind a pattern interrupt, where you look at it and you're like, damn, that is not like every other email I've just read. And okay, maybe I might respond just because they might be a bit different. It's a little crack in the, it's just a little chink in the armor, and that's all that matters. Absolutely all that matters. It's a little micro millisecond where they're like, oh, and then you're like, okay, foot in the door. Let's see what we can do after that, right? So there's different ways of going about this, like actually doing your research, which I will get onto another part of the module. But this is another like very, very simple one where it's just, let me see if I can, I think this is a bit small. Oh shoot, that might be a bit too big. There we go. Yeah, no, I have it on a different screen. So here we are. So yeah, that's the next one. Next one is proof slash case studies. This is pretty self-explanatory. For all my clients, I run very simple campaigns where it's a proof slash case studies campaign where I contact people similar to their ideal client profile, and also case studies they've worked with, and pretty simply we just run it up, and this works quite well. So proof is the single easiest lever to pull when trying to convince the prospect to get on a call with you. There's 3 main types of case studies. Look at me, I'm a big shot, big shot case study. There's the hyper relevant case study, and then there's the not relevant but I exist, and I'm going to go into all of them because these are all very important to know. And this is something I didn't really understand when I started writing emails, because you think that a case study is just a case study. Like you literally just think that it's a case study that like, okay, I've done this, I'm relevant. But no, there's levels to this stuff, and I'll just show you. To bring this back to them, thinking you can help. So this is all about thinking. You can help you can help. The reason these work is because it shows proof of concept slash proof of competence. You're not blurting out an Alex Hormozy type offer, which is great and all. And to be honest, I don't know if it works over. Not, I don't know. It just doesn't work over cold email anymore. If I don't generate you 100% ROI in one day, you'll get your money back and I'll donate my kids to charity. Please don't do that. It is not a. I'm actually curious if that would be a funny. Um, oh my God! Wait, actually, on the fly, I might actually run that as a joke campaign for some of my own, just to test. Where it's like, hey, I can generate you this. Um, just as a guarantee, I'll do 100% ROI in one day. I'll get your money back, or I'll donate my kids to charity. And then I'll put it like in the PS line. I was joking about the guarantee, but let me know if this is interesting. That is genius. I should cut this out of the video because that might ruin my campaigns. But who knows? The reason relevant case studies or brands work is because they think you can do the same job for them. So it works kind of like this: they don't believe, they slightly believe, or they 100% believe, and it's just like a sliding scale. The more relevant and bigger the brands, the more to the right they go, or down in this sense. Let's put this into perspective with some examples. You're in an e-commerce store in the apparel niche. I think apparel is spelled wrong. Shoot. We're going to breeze over that and just act like that never happened. Here's how it would look. We can help you do X% revenue. No case study. This is 0 case studies at all. Right? This is like the most basic one going. We helped another e-com store do percentage rev increase. This is a vague case study. So this isn't actually, it's not relevant to them. Like what does this actually mean? Like it's just a vague case study. We helped case study name in the furniture grooming do percentage rev increase. So named case study different niche. So okay, like in this you could technically argue maybe the vague case study might be better than this. Definitely depends. And then we worked with case study name in the grooming industry to do percentage rev increase. So this is an adjacent niche. So it's like jewelry and I don't know, fashion. Like it's kind of like it's like but like not really at the same time. So there's that. And then we worked with case study name in the apparel niche to do percentage rev increase. So it's the same niche now. So now you're kind of getting there. And then we worked with LVMH to do, I don't know, percentage rev increase, same niche and name drop. So now it just, it kind of like moves along the truck line of, okay, it just gets bigger and bigger. So you need to understand that there's progressiveness to case studies, like plural, because like I have clients that are working in some pretty like obscure case studies, and It's like they need to be relevant, or probably just don't use them at all. Or you can be vague and be like, look, I'm working with like 10 e-commerce stores right now, and this might not be for you, but we could definitely have a lot. So yeah, pretty simply, there's levels to this shit. So let's go. Research, 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 research. This is the bread and butter of cold email, and I'm starting to realize that now as well. I went through this already, but the more you know about a prospect, the better copy you can write. This it also generally works to make the copy feel more human. That is just generally a copywriting tactic in general. Don't make it too formal, etc. So think about yourself. When you receive an email, you want the person to actually make it look like they tried, like at least a little, like just a little. Okay. I don't want this BS about which college I went to or where I'm located unless it's relevant. Or I will put as a caveat as like a PS line to just be um like to make it more human. So you have your base email up here, and then you have like down here, which is like the PS line. It's like it's completely irrelevant to the email. Like, it literally has absolutely nothing to do with it. But like you have the copywriting kind of like side of it. So there's that. But subtle hints like I saw you helped industry. Ooh, sorry. So you helped industry. A nice case study from company. Saw you and your co-founder helped ICP. Like little things like that go a long way. They go a really, really, really long way. And you must understand that like if this is me receiving this, I'll be like, nice, you looked at it. Brilliant. So it's one of those things. They'll know. Like they'll know. Like it's not something you need to say explicitly, but they'll know. Like business owners aren't dumb. Well, okay. Let me let me change how I say that. Some business owners aren't dumb. Maybe I'm one of them. Who knows? But look, they'll know just because they receive so many emails. It does not take a genius to realize something like this. So, um, like relevance, there's only three real ways of doing this, which is manually write every email, hypersegment needs list, which is less of a pain, and then using AI, which also takes brain. I recorded a full AI video on this, by the way, on how to write cold emails with AI. I also have a full doc with it, which will be linked as well. So let's see. Okay, framing is the next one. This one is simple but effective. When emailing someone, you're in the default inferior position. Like, absolutely, you are the default inferior because you're like, okay, I want to get on a call with you. So, being able to flip that is extremely difficult, to be honest. It's not easy by any means. So, you're asking them for their time, money, and attention. They get to decide or not, or like if they do or don't want to talk with you or not. So, the goal is to frame it in a way where they come to you. An easy way to depict this is for a CTA, which is like this. So this is a beggar. I'd love to get on a call with you to see how we can help you. Company name. Maybe there's no need for company name, but it's like I'd love to get on a call with you. Like, please get on a call with me. And you're just groveling. That's just all you're just like, please, 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 right? The CTA for being neutral is, are you open to learning more? It's like, are you like, I'm throwing the ball into your court now. You can decide. Power is, I'm super busy right now, but I have time day. I have time for at day, so I have time Monday at like 3 p.m. to have a chat. So that's another one which is like, okay, power frame, this is nice, but it's a bit of a like no one likes the power frame really. It's just you seem like it's stuck up. You like stick up your ass basically. Like no one actually cares. So yeah, and in the CTA helper, we've helped a couple other companies with this exact problem. Open to seeing how we can do the same for you. So this is kind of like the beggar, but it's a bit different because you're framing it in the sense that you've helped a couple other companies. So they're like, okay, expertise is hard to find nowadays with this exact problem. Are you open to seeing how we can do the same for you? So you must understand the way you ask for them to get on a call is very different depending on who they are and how they're kind of like framing it in their head and the entire email. The best one is the CTA. Like open, like neutral is good, and helper is also good because you're not like the position you're in is like you're not negative. You're not net negative. Another good way of doing it is if you have information they don't have. So you're like, look, I did some research into your competitors. I can see this, this, and this. Happy to hop on a call, see if we can show you. Like, okay, now it's like, oh, you have information on my competitors? Sure. So one of the best cold email mindsets is you have a problem, I can fix problem. Caveman stuff. It's literally caveman stuff. Go into every email with that and you should be good. Perfect. Next on. So you need to write for a busy person. This is very important. So this is the similar one to keeping it short, which is how many things do you have on your to-do list? I have mine here. I don't want to show too close because I actually have stuff on here that is probably not ideal, but like to-do list, right? It's just stuff. And it just gets longer. As the day goes by, I add stuff to it and it's not good because stuff just keeps getting added. So how many things do you have on your to-do list today? If you don't have one, shame. I'm joking. I'm joking. But I could rattle off 5 to 7 things, no problem. Today, literally, this was one of them. We're recording this video. It's like, why? Because I'm busy. I have shit to do. Like I literally have shit to do. I have a business to run. I need to also get ready for Christmas and plan stuff. So Christmas, right? And guess what? So does everyone else. You're not special, right? I'm not special. There are 8 billion people on this planet. Everybody's going to be busy, right? And everybody likes to seem busy as well. Even if you don't, you're not busy. And I've done this in the past. Even if you're not busy, everybody likes to seem busy. So when you write your next email, keep this in mind. They're busy. Keep it short, sweet, get to the point. Okay, mechanism versus outcome. Right. This is a very interesting one, right? This took me a few months to realize as well. And like actually buckle in for this because this one's really, really important. So when sending an email, you have two things playing against each other. You have the mechanism. This highlights more about how you do the process. And then the outcome, which is the pure outcome of what you do, right? And I have seen a shift from outcome to mechanism, right? But again, it definitely depends on how you write your emails. So both are good. You need to understand how to utilize both of them. So the mechanism is how you deliver the service for the client, the processes you use, and in most cold emails, you give a small idea of what that is, what a cool name with a cool name to make them feel special. And this like so if you're going on vacation and you sell the plane trip, right? We run Facebook ads or we have an SEO package. So this is basically how you're going to get to said place of, let's say, Miami or Hawaii or something, right? Outcome. This is us selling the vacation, right? What they'll be getting out of us. The better the outcome, the better the response. We can get you 20 calls in 2 months, or we can increase web traffic by 10%. So, right, I'm just going to dig into this like just a little because this is really, really important. There's two things to note on this, right? First thing is too much mechanism, or if your mechanism's boring, then don't do it. Like if your mechanism is, we do Facebook ads, and the main problem they have in that industry is we don't get enough MQL or market qualified leads from Facebook ads. You're like, shit, okay. Well, maybe a process I can put in is we put them through a form. So that's one. And the next thing is we first of all put them through a form, and then we have a dialer dial, and we actually qualify them on call with your specific criteria. That's a good mechanism. If your mechanism is we just put them through a form and then we just put them into a follow process, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, that's not special. So you don't want to say that. You just don't want to say that. And then it's the same with outcome, right? Outcome is a tricky one because you can either have too little, too much, and finding right in the middle is very difficult, right? Because you want it to be believable. It's like me coming to you and saying, look, if you work with me, I can get you to play in the World Cup final on stage with all the World Cup players within 2 months. Your first response is, nah, that's impossible. Unless you're obviously already, if you're watching this and you're training football, respect. I played it for like a decade. I love the sport, but soccer, whatever you want to call it. But basically, realistically, it's not happening, right? And that's unbelievable. But if I said to you, if you worked with me for 8 years or something, right? I'm 19 now, you're like 27. 8 years, I can get you from here to playing in the World Cup final or playing on like, I don't know, an A1 team, whatever that is, like Prem, League One, whatever. Yeah, that's a bit more believable, even though my prime has passed. Oh, but I'm not sending cold emails for a living. Okay, let's bring it back. Right. Where were we? Yes. Sorry. So you need to make it believable because if they don't believe it, then they just don't think it's possible. And there's like a fine line between making it believable and not thinking it's actually possible at all. And if your claim isn't good, it's like, oh, I'll get you 5 calls in a month. It's like, oh, well, that's just not interesting. Like, okay. But then like 15 calls is like, okay. And if you're like 60 calls, it's like, unless you have a unique mechanism, like let's say Pinterest ads, like I've never heard that, right? You're like, I can get you 60 calls a month with your exact niche slash industry with 60 or with Pinterest ads. Like, yeah, like I guess, you know what I mean? It's like I've never heard that. Like it's not Facebook, it's not Google, like Pinterest, like what? So that like you need to understand there's a balance between the two. You can either go one way, you can either go the other, or like you can go in the middle where you mentioned both. So it's something you have to figure out for yourself. There's one more thing you need to understand. Oh yeah, the mechanism can be unique. It's also possible to sell that. Oh yes. So for example, we're going to take economy to Turkey, economy class Turkey. So it's like we're just going to be on a plane with other people, which is perfectly fine, to Turkey, or we're going to take a first class flight to Turkey. Both have the same outcome. The ride is different. I know that if someone came to me selling me a first class plane ticket, I'd be more inclined to go if I had the money, right? I'm going to add that as a caveat, right? If I have the money, because a lot of people can't afford a first class plane ticket. But with cold email, you're targeting people that can't afford first class, right? That's just the way I look at it. But you can make the journey the 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 selling point where it's like, okay, so we are both going to run ads here, right? You could work with that agency. They're also going to run ads. But if you think about it, we can also run ads here for you. But like we have a guarantee in place, which is kind of part of whoopsies. Just hit my mic. We have a guarantee in place that is like, okay, so you can guarantee it. And then the next thing is we also qualified leads, and also we have like we run weekly calls or something, and then we also if you have any changes you'd like to make. And there's also a form that you can like fill out to make sure we're actually on track. And we actually record Loom videos, etc., to keep you up to date on everything. And then we can actually come in house with your team and we can help you with the sales process. Like there's ways. There's always a way of improving it, and people just don't like understand the regulation and the way it kind of operates on that end. So you can sell the plane ride, right? You can, if it's a nice enough plane ride, but it's a bit more difficult because you need a good plane ride. So what did this look like? So if you do Facebook ads, oh, there we go. So this is the example I keep rattling off. Instead of saying you do Facebook ads, you say we evaluate each lead that comes through Facebook ads with a forms, wow, English, to qualify them. Then we ring them with our SDR to double qualify them, to book them into your calendar. And all you have to do is close them. Like, okay, very, very interesting. And then, so you're taking the workload off them, and business owners understand that. Uh, we that's supposed to say all. We all do. Well, most of us do. Well, most do. Whoops, maybe not. The moral of the story is if you do have a unique mechanism, this is something to test out in your market. I repeat, don't take this as the only way, right? There's so many different ways of writing an email. This is just a test, right? You need to split test. Right. Next is believability, which I did actually just run. Well, I'm skipping my own document right now because I'm getting very excited. So if I said I could train you to become a world-class footballer on par with Messi or Ronaldo in 6 months, would you believe me? No. The answer is no. Like I wouldn't. The delta between where I am and the goal is too large. It's physically not in my head that's possible. Like like one of my goals now is like I want to hit 100K per month in like 2 years or something, right? And before, like 6 months ago, it was like, oh, it's not possible. But now it's like kind of it's a bit more believable in my head. But if I was like, I want to hit 10 million in 2 years, I'm like, okay, it's possible, but I think I need more skills before I can reach that point. Maybe like 5 years or half a decade, something like that. So that's the problem with some of these emails. You're promising the world, and people don't think it's fundamentally possible. Ooh, nice. Next one, which is packaging. This is a great skill to have in business in general. It requires you to actually think about what you're going to write and do, because there's a lot of like we can just run Facebook ads, but packaging is like a whole skill in itself in the business world where you frame what you're like selling to this person, and certain people see different things differently. Obviously, well, like go fucking figure. Like, so let's go back to the good old Facebook ads. It's been used and abused, and everyone and their granny has been hit with, "Are you looking for Facebook ads?" You probably don't deserve to be in business if you still think this works. Like, if you still think this works, I wish you all the best in the world. So, what's the solution? You frame or phrase it differently. So, where's my mouse? Here we go. So, you change the perception instead of Facebook ads, ad flow system, SEO optimization, SEO flight system, automation, automotive system. You know, like it's very simple, but you just add some additional like on top of it. It's just one of those things, right? Perfect. Objection handling. Again, this is something I learned probably in the last month and a half, and it has severely helped with a lot of my emails. So this is like a sales thing that I was just thinking of when I was thinking of cold email, which is a lot of sales, right? And I'm gonna be like preface this by like I'm not a good like I'm not some sort of sales like god or whatever guru. I'm pretty average to be frank, and basically there's this thing in the world, the sales world, where it's you want to handle objections before they come up. So like the example I heard the other day is maybe you want to lose weight and they or lose weight and they've already tried some sort of program before, like a fitness program, and maybe it was Pilates or something. I literally don't know. Just making this up. And basically, you want to handle their objection, which is basically like saying, "Look, we're not a Pilates. We're actually different. We're I don't know, what is another program? I don't know, weights. I literally have no idea. I do gym, but like I have no idea." So you want to handle that inside it. So they're like later on they can't hit you with the like this is just another program. You can be like, yes, so like this is like weights instead of Pilates. It's like, okay, so like I understand that's not a problem because it's different. So let's say someone said to you, I can get you on the front page of Forbes. You basically think, what are the first things you think are like cost? Is it me or the business? How long? What will you say? The reason I say this is because I got all these objections when trying to get signed clients for someone that can get someone on Forbes. And this is literally what they say. And if you can identify and solve the main objection, then they can't throw it back at you. Full stop. Right? If they're like, oh, it's the cost, it's like, okay, we can actually do it for free. Obviously, that's not realistic, but you get the point. Is it me or the business? You're like, okay, you can clarify where it's like, you can do you, your business, maybe your co-founder, like all that kind of like jazz. So you can clarify it inside the email. If you don't solve the problem well enough, or if you're too vague, they can throw it back at you. So just be good. The best way of finding out objections is ChatGPT. Yup. Everybody loves GBT. If you're not using it, you're losing. Next one is curiosity. So after sending hundreds of cold emails, there's this one trick which makes everything else irrelevant, basically. Well, I say that for like drama, but like it definitely does help. And I'll answer it at the end of the doc. So you see what I did there? You know, I wrote this right, and I said to myself, this would be, it would be funny as when I did it. So yeah, I will actually answer that question. But you need to leave a question in their mind, something like, how do you do this? How do you get that like ROI on whatever they're going to buy? What is the unique mechanism? Curiosity, questions. So it goes from curiosity to questions to care, investment, and then meetings, basically. There's a line between saying too little and too much, and you'll need to test it out. So this is going back to the mechanism versus the outcome. If you only say outcome, then it's pure curiosity. If you put in some mechanism, you can technically still have curiosity based on maybe how you do some of the mechanisms, but I don't think they care about that. They really truly do not care. So if you're running pure outcome, then you can do that. Awesome. So low barrier CTA. So now we're getting on to kind of the CTA part of the question. If anybody doesn't know, that means call to action. So you basically make it easy to say yes. Very simply, you just make it easy to say yes. And no, you're not getting married. This is someone trying to sell you something. There used to be a golden age where people would say yes to, are you open to a 15-minute chat? Long gone are those days. I'm telling you, long gone. It is so sad. It used to fly, but not anymore, Chief. The word agencies has a bad rep for a lot of business owners. That's the internet in a nutshell. So it's just one of those things. So resistance is something I've been grappling with in my cold emails recently. Anyways, because I'll explain to you now. So I'll give you 4 examples of call to actions that I've used in a few of my campaigns just to split test. So are you open to quick video going through our process? Okay, fair enough. Low friction CTA. Mind if I send over more info? Yeah, pretty neutral. Open to a 15-minute call sometime this week. Pretty high friction. Open to a free website mockup. Low friction. And I can tell a few stories, but like each of these, main one is actually the last one. I have a mate that's doing that right now. So let me walk you through my thought process. All are good CTAs, to be honest. They all work perfectly fine. They will do the job but it defines the intent of the prospect. When the prospect sees them, the answer is either yes or no, right? Which is good. To be frank, this is good. But if you're observant, the efforts on both the receiver and the sender is different. Very much so. So, prospects, sure, send it over, right? This is the video one. Basically, when you receive this, you have to stop everything you're doing, record a 3 to 4 minute loom, draft an email, and you have to send it back to them, right? This not only destroys your work session, unless you bundle it, which is fair, but time to lead is very important. You may also have to do this many times a day, and believe me, when I did this, I remember I booked 17 calls in 2 days or 15. I did it twice. It's on my channel somewhere, and it works. To be frank, it works, but it destroys your work session, and there's a limit to it. You may have to do this a lot of in a day. Best of all, there's a high chance. I said best of all, but there's a high chance they'll ghost you, which happened to me a lot because they see it, say not for me, and leave it. I've also been guilty of this. I say yes because it sounds fun. Guilty until proven innocent. Isn't that correct? So it depends on how it's low friction, but that means that you're inputting more effort. And then if they leave, it's like, okay, well, shoot, what am I supposed to do then? Next one is CTA with more info. So the prospect says yes, the sender makes a relevant doc, drafts email, and sends. This is a lot more symmetric on both parties. So they say yes, and you have a document on hand, maybe some case studies, maybe some information on how you do it, maybe some portfolio of work. Very simple. The resistance is low for a yes, and the effort is low on the sender side. I use this for many of my campaigns. As long as you have a strong doc to send over, it gets your foot in the door. It's basically what I'm looking at here. There's ways of framing it, but pretty much, yeah. I use this for many of my campaigns. CTA pitching a call. So a prospect says yes to pitching a call. You draft an email and you reply. The effort is now on the prospect. The act of saying yes goes up 10x as they're committing to a time investment. There'll be a lot of people, there's a lot less people saying yes to this, but the ones that do are high intent. So you must understand that there's a sliding scale between the intent of the prospect and your CTA. And depending on how high friction the CTA is, depends on the intent of the prospect. This is very important because if you increase the friction of the CTA, you then get higher intent prospects. You need to understand this, right? Because I have clients, right, all the time, and they're like, we only want high intent prospects. They need to have this specific criteria. And my first thought is, are you insane? I'm like, look, I can do that. I can get them on a call, but I can't if I tell them everything, they're not getting on a call. This is a catch-22 where if I tell them the exact mechanism, how we're going to do this, and what you are going to do for that person, it does not work like that because then they're not getting on a call because they know exactly what they're getting. So you need to find a line between this. And the next one is free value. So sure sends it over. You basically have to stop a work block or maybe make it part of your work block, create value, drafts email replies. This is by far the highest converting CTA. No shit, Sherlock. The effort is all on you, every little bit. You spend free time and money to show this person that you know what you're doing. You have committed time and money, pretty much, or just straight time, depends. And this one is extremely tough to hack through because it gets more people will say yes. To be completely frank, people will say yes. And what happens is you give them work and they could ghost you, which is also one thing. And then another thing they could do is they could work with you. So it depends because you're showing competence. Right. Language and tonality. Do you know what this means? Didn't think so. This is Chinese, obviously. Brownie points if you did. But this is what it feels like when you send an email and you don't know their language. Internalize this feeling because when you send a cold email without speaking the language of the prospect, not literally, of course. Well, maybe. Depends on if you're contacting people in Spain or etc. in that kind of area, but you get the point. Right? When you send a cold email without speaking the language of the prospect, they don't feel like they're related to you, it's not relevant. So if they do e-com, words like CR, conversion rate, CRO, conversion rate optimization can go a long way. I think I'm supposed to, I don't know why this is so long. Well, who knows? But basically, we can live with this. So basically, use ChatGPT, go to ChatGPT and just say, look, this is the industry I'm working with. Please give me some common trends and words that they say generally. And then now you have ammo to work with. Next is cold email spam words. This is a pretty simple one. You should know this, but if you don't, avoid words that will land you in spam. If people don't see your stuff, what's the point in sending it? Like at all. Avoid words like Nigerian prince, free, million, etc. You get the point. I use this link here. I'm not going to click it because it'll bring me out, but it's just mail media or spam checker. It's free. Just put it in, see what happens. Next is iterating. Do iterate, 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 iterate. I will repeat this again, again till I fall asleep. Like iterate. So you spend hours crafting emails with 4 to 7 different variations. You have a perfect leads list with all the best prospects. Emails scheduled for Monday. You're not going to be able to sleep over the weekend since you spent so much time working on the campaign and it's going to rip. Right? I've done this. You sign a prospect on, you're warming up the emails, you get all the information you need, you start working on a campaign, and you're like, okay, Monday arrives, finishes, no leads. Okay, day one. Day two, Tuesday arrives, Tuesday finishes, no leads. Wednesday arrives, Wednesday finishes, no leads. And then now you start to doubt yourself. You see all these people online that are like, oh, we booked like 1 billion calls in like 1 day or something. And you're like, okay, Thursday arrives. Thursday finishes, 1 lead. After 5,000 emails, damn, 3 days. Friday arrives, Friday finishes, no leads. Does cold email even work? That's your next question in your head. Does this actually work? So this is the untold story of 95% of people that attempt campaigns. This is literally what it looks like. This exact thing. Because they don't realize that what you're doing is you're not iterating. You're setting up and you're getting ready. You do all this work. You realize that it's just whack. Like what you're doing is just whack, right? But now you know it's whack. Yeah. So this is what they need to realize is that this is the untold story. Both parties have campaigns like this. One understands that they need to iterate, and the other understands that literally nothing. That's all it is. One understands that they need to change stuff. I'm going to tell you a story, right? I had a client that was it wasn't ecom, it was social media, right? And I basically was working with them for about 1 to 2 months and I just kept hitting campaigns. I wrote so many emails for them. I think there's an hour of me writing emails for them on the channel somewhere. But basically, I kept writing emails for 2 straight months. I got them like 1 to 2 leads like per month. It was terrible. It was so bad, to be frank. But then after like month two, right, I kind of hit kind of a point where it was, oh, okay, this is interesting. So like I had an angle that was kind of interesting, and then basically I ran that campaign. I think it was 3 or 4 leads in 1 day out of like 1,000 emails. It was like I was like, right. So this is what you have to do. And then it ripped. And now I know that works. But you must realize that emails do rip and they work. And you actually just need to keep testing. Because that was 2 months of just pure trying to figure it out, trying to find the angles, trying to figure out what people wanted to see. And once you hit on that, then you just ram volume. So that's just a quick story. Next one is humor. Everyone you email is a human, I think, unless you're emailing dogs and cats, aliens. But everyone you email should be a human when they're reading your email. 99.999% of people enjoy a bit of humor. I hope so, anyways. Unless you're like a Grinch and you really don't like humor, like just have a laugh, enjoy life. You can be serious, but not chronic serious. Simple things like having a funny opener, a humorous follow up, sending a GIF or two goes a really, really long way. Like just like if you can send a funny opener, which is like a cheesy opener or a humorous follow up, it's like awaiting your fair but stern reply as a joke, and just don't make it conventional. Don't fall into the pattern interrupt. Be different. It goes a long way. So yeah, people are stressed the fuck out sometimes. They like to get pulled out of the day to day. You have to keep it appropriate at all times. So it is still a B2B relationship. So don't flush that down the toilet and being like best pals with this person because that's stupid. Just don't do that. Next is send an email to yourself. So this is a neat little trick I kind of picked up as well, which is basically when you're emailing someone, you just type the email into your own email and then you send the email to yourself. Right, this lets you see the subject line, the opener, the body, literally everything. And it makes zero sense not to do this. Like there is zero sense because most of you have never seen your own email. I remember I sent a bunch of emails to myself, and they just looked like they looked so bad. I was just thinking about it. They were terrible, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna rip." They ripped, like they went into the bin, like they just didn't do anything. So most of you have never seen your own email. Pretend you are them for just 1 second, and just would you reply to this? Would you buy this offer if you were in their position? Send the email to yourself. Awesome. Make something up. So I can't take full credit for this one, but I got it from Eric Nowalski and Oscar Moen. I hope I spelled their names right. But it's a concept of making something up to get them to ask a question. It makes complete sense if you think about it, because it's on the curiosity side of things, where it's you're kind of focusing on the outcome. So pretend someone says to you, "I helped Alex Ramosi with SEO to boost revenue." It's like, okay, I know what that means. What about I helped Alex Ramosi boost revenue in my cloud stack system? Which is this is similar to packaging, but there's other ways of using this. But all this is like what the hell is a cloud stack system? I don't even know, right? I remember writing at this doc, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. But I came up with it on the spot, and it probably got you curious as to what a cloud stack system was, because I don't actually know what that is. So make something up if you're really really caught for it, and then you can give some insane value doing that. So yeah, and then you have a cheesy opener slash acknowledgement. Right, this is one that has been going around the community a bit. I would test this just to see, right? This is I've been testing it recently, but it's a funny opener or a pattern interrupt, something like I know your inbox is more crowded with emails like this than on Black Friday, or I know you get more emails like this than cat videos in my timeline, or it's quite simple and requires some creativity. Use ChatGPT slash AI because why not? ChatGPT AI, gotta love it. They absolutely cook for you. So this is 23 points that I've been going. Just before you go, this is the doc that everything is. So this is what is why AI makes everything easier. So this is the answer to all your questions. This document highlights why AI makes everything else relevant. I'll put it in the comments, and it will also be in this one as well, so you can actually like have a look at it. I would actually recommend having a look because I put a lot of time into that. By the way, in the description, there's a link. It brings you to a landing page, which is my landing page. Oh my God, like big surprise. And it's pretty much for anybody that might want help with what we've been discussing about for the last hour. And if you want help implementing it, it's just me yabbering away, basically pitching you my stuff and how I can help you book calls, like, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're interested, you can click on it. If you're not, like, it's no worries. It's completely up to you. So that's enough talking for me today. If you enjoyed what you saw, drop a like. And if there's any problems or solutions or anything you'd like to see in the future, drop them in the comments and subscribe if you'd like to stay in touch. See ya.